For the people of Ukraine enduring bombardment and displacement, the winter's brought the added misery of freezing weather and power cuts as Russia targets critical infrastructure. Russians have weathered international sanctions and the mobilisation or conscription of civilians, but there's no sign of either side backing down. So what happens next in the worst conflict on European soil since World War II? Can Ukrainian resolve be worn down by Russian might? Will the support of NATO allies for Ukraine hold fast? Could the conflict escalate and drag in more countries? Can either side hope to win a real victory, or will this become a fruitless war of attrition? What next for the war in Ukraine? That's the real story from the BBC after the news.
Hello, I'm Moira Alderson with the BBC News. Russia has launched another barrage of airstrikes targeting civilian infrastructure across Ukraine. There were several blasts in the capital, Kyiv. Officials there said it was a massive attack and water supplies had been disrupted in all areas. Kharkiv in the east, home to more than 1 million people, is entirely without electricity. Other cities have suffered outages. There are reports of 3 civilian deaths. Our correspondent Hugo Beshega is in an underground shelter in Kyiv.
In some places of the country, electricity is only available a few hours per day. You can probably hear the sound of generators behind me. So this is the new reality here in the capital and in cities across the country. Blackouts, no electricity, no heating, no water. But I think what people are telling us is that they are going to resist. They are adapting to this situation. But the authorities are saying that winter is going to be extremely difficult for people.
Earlier, the Ukrainian government said it believed Russia was planning to launch a large ground offensive early in the new year. Members of South Africa's governing African National Congress are gathering in Johannesburg to decide whether President Cyril Ramaphosa will be re-elected as party leader, despite a damaging recent scandal. He avoided an impeachment inquiry earlier this week. Japan's announced it will double its military spending in the next 5 years and will acquire the ability to strike enemy bases, citing regional threats posed by China and North Korea. The changes mark the most dramatic overhaul to Japan's security strategy since it adopted a pacifist constitution in the aftermath of the Second World War. Under the new plan, Tokyo will buy US-made long-range missiles capable of destroying enemy launch sites if Japan is under attack. A landslide that engulfed a campsite close to the Malaysian capital, Kuala Lumpur, is now known to have killed at least 16 people. About 20 others are still unaccounted for. The immediate cause is unclear. Jonathan Head reports.
Campers have described hearing a loud rumble in the early hours of the morning, right before a torrent of earth and rocks came down on their tents. Aerial photographs show a wide swathe of brown earth cutting through the trees down a steep slope above the campsite. Landslides are frequent in Malaysia, especially during the rainy season, but there had been no heavy rain reported in recent days.
The special tribunal dealing with the Kosovo conflict has delivered its first war crimes verdict, sentencing an ethnic Albanian former guerrilla commander to 26 years in prison. The court found that Salah Mustafa was responsible for the arbitrary detention and torture of civilians at a camp in 1999 and the murder of one detainee. Prosecutors said his victims were fellow ethnic Albanians accused of collaborating with Serbs. BBC News. A fire at a residential building on the outskirts of the French city of Lyon has killed 10 people. A large number of firefighters brought it under control. Hugh Schofield in Paris has the latest.
The emergency services were at the scene pretty quickly, but not quickly enough to be able to stop the blaze spreading from the ground floor of this 7-storey block of flats up to the 3rd storey. And there are harrowing eyewitness accounts this morning from people who are looking on, saying that, there were children being thrown by their parents out of upper storey windows and people themselves jumping out afterwards. And the result is this heavy death toll of 10, with 5 of them children aged between 3, the youngest is 3, up to 15. And investigation, of course, underway now into what could have caused it.
Hugh Schofield reporting from Paris. A key border crossing between Pakistan and Afghanistan has reopened just a day after clashes between troops from both sides. A Pakistani official said a ceasefire was in place at the Chuman-Speen-Baldak crossing, the second busiest between the two countries. Tensions have escalated recently between the two border forces. A huge aquarium in the lobby of a hotel in Berlin has burst. Police say there's been unbelievable maritime damage. Jenny Hill reports from the German city.
The glass tank, which contained 1 million litres of water and 1,500 tropical fish, appears to have suddenly shattered, sending glass and metal flying across the hotel lobby and destroying part of the building's facade. Water poured onto the street outside, which was also scattered with debris. 2 people were injured and shocked guests have been moved out of the hotel. Emergency workers used sniffer dogs to search the ground floor for any other victims. The tank, which was described as the largest cylindrical aquarium in the world, was a popular tourist attraction and is believed to have been extensively modernised 2 years ago.
BBC News.
This is The Real Story from the BBC. I'm Rithala Shah with your weekly deep dive into a story that's making news and changing lives. And this week we return to February 2022, when Europe was plunged into its worst conflict since World War II.
Today, what was unthinkable for many, particularly in Ukraine itself, has happened. An invasion by Russian forces on land, by sea and in the air.
We have full-scale invasion. We have incursions everywhere. We have a situation in which every part of Ukraine is threatened. You don't expect this kind of madness in this century in Europe.
There are a lot of people trying to get on a special evacuation train out of here to the west of the country. They've been arriving with their bags, they've been arriving with whatever they can carry, trying to get out.
Russia called its invasion of Ukraine a special operation. In reality, what followed was months of fighting. Millions fled their homes. There were increasing casualties and evidence of atrocities.
There are many dead bodies lying in the streets. There's no one to pick them up. The city is turning into cemetery. If you're not killed by the shelling, then you would die of hunger or because there's no water.
James Bailey about Christmas sales, turkey availability and the prospects for shop price inflation next year.
We've got lots of full shops. I've been out this week visiting all of our partners, speaking to some customers. We've got lots of full shelves. We've got some great products out there. So I think we are in good shape, and the all-important turkeys are all on their way. So we've got a full order. Most of them have, or a lot of them have been reserved. So if you've reserved a turkey with Waitrose, it's on its way. And then we've got about 80,000 more coming into our shops on Tuesday, fresh, for customers who haven't pre-ordered. So we're in good shape, I think.
I mean, people who don't know about the grocery industry, ordering turkeys for Christmas, it's a fine art, isn't it? It's a bit like landing an aircraft on an airstrip, on a runway.
It can feel like that sometimes, and I think probably the last few years have tested the landing gear a little bit, because demand, with all of COVID and now, of course, the cost of living crisis and all the challenges that the customers are facing, it's a bit difficult to predict. But broadly, it's better to have a few too many than not enough. So we've gone for a good number, and we've managed to get them all this year, which is great.
Obviously, there's been a lot of publicity around bird flu. Have you seen much evidence of consumers switching to other forms of protein for their Christmas lunch?
A little bit, yeah. We've seen searches for things like Christmas beef, Christmas pork up a couple of 100% year on year. So I think customers are searching around. And yeah, I think people are just managing their budgets carefully and looking, because turkeys are up like a lot of fresh protein is year on year, and customers are savvy and they will shop around for different good deals. So yeah, we've seen a bit of evidence for that, but we're still going to sell. I suspect we will still sell more turkeys than we did for the last couple of years. So there's still a really big market out there for the good birds.
Now, the other area of where there have been shortages, well publicised, of course, is eggs. Has the situation alleviated? I know you made a big payment to egg producers a few weeks ago. Yeah, that's right. Well, so we've managed to, at Waitrose, we've managed to avoid any of those supply challenges. Like you say, we've got good long-standing relationships with our farmers, and actually, the problem with eggs wasn't particularly about bird flu. It was more about cost of production and getting the right price through to farms and suppliers. So that isn't going to go away anytime soon, but the industry is moving in the right direction. So with luck, any kind of egg shortage sees its way through in the first couple of months of next year. Shouldn't be a problem, but it does come down to price, and farmers need a fair price. One of the big elements in the inflation basket, of course, is eggs, and we have seen some big price rises. Where do you see the price of eggs going over the next couple of months? I think we've seen
most of the inflation we need, but again, that price needs to feed back through to farmers. So if there are parts of the market that haven't quite done that yet, you might see some more inflation. But fingers crossed, the input costs on farm, like feed and fuel and fertilizer, level out and start to come down again. And that's the important metric for farmers, that their cost of production can start to move backwards. If it does, then the retail price can move backwards with it. But until then, unfortunately, you've got to pay the right price or you don't get the right products. And obviously, the Bank of England Governor, Andrew Bailey, said yesterday he felt the worst may be behind us in terms of inflation. What are your expectations, roughly? I know it's a very broad question, but roughly, where do you see grocery prices going over the next 6 to 9 months? Are we past the worst, in your opinion? I think we probably are. I think there'll still be parts of the market and parts of the food chain that are still suffering from cost inflation, and that might feed its way through. But the general consensus is we are beginning to flatten out, and hopefully through next year we can start to chase some of those prices back down again. But like you say, it's almost impossible to predict at the moment. There's a few too many moving parts, but flattening out and then hopefully starting to come back down towards the end of next year would be the ideal. Now, the latest till roll data suggested that your sales fell by 1.9% in the 3 months to October. Are you suffering during the cost of living crisis from consumers down trading to cheaper brands? Customers are managing their budgets. They're careful, they're savvy, and good supermarkets offer those options within the supermarket. So you can trade down from the premium brands down into own brand and down through the own brand tiers. And customers are absolutely doing that. More than anything at the moment at Waitrose, we're still having a bit of a COVID hangover from our online business last year, and we'll be out of that in the next couple of months. So we should get a clearer view of what our customers are doing at that point. But there's no question customers are managing their budgets across the whole industry. I mean, obviously, you've had the Waitrose Essentials brand for quite a few years now. Is that forming a bigger part of the sales mix just now? It is, yeah. Customers are trading in. It's a really popular brand. It's the biggest own brand value range in the market. It's in all of our shops, and it ends up in 6 out of 10 of the baskets we sell, the trolleys we sell across the year. So it's obviously really resonating with customers. It's still high welfare food, so you don't have to compromise when you buy into that brand. So yes, it's very popular. It's going up about 10% year on year, and other parts of the categories in the supermarket going down a little bit. So customers definitely shopping savvy into our essentials range. You recently brought back the very popular free coffee offer for My Waitrose members. Was that a defensive move? No, it was more that customers love the free coffee offer, and through COVID, of course, with all the restrictions, we didn't feel like it was a safe thing to do to offer to keep that offer going. We've managed now to get back out of some of those restrictions, and we thought it was, as soon as we could, we'd put the coffee back on, because of all of the things we offered on My Waitrose, it was one of the most popular. So we just wanted to get it back in front of customers and give them something to enjoy as they walk around the shops. You also had a very popular newspaper offer to My Waitrose customers. Is any chance of that returning? Well, contrary to popular belief, it didn't really disappear. It's just moved digitally. So, a large number of our customers get a voucher every week for free newspapers, and an awful lot of them are still redeeming that. So we still get free newspapers. You still get free newspapers on My Waitrose. It's just the format has changed a little bit. So it's still very popular, and we'll continue to do that. Right. Another initiative you've recently brought in was a £12 dine-in for two offer. I mean, a lot of commentators thought this was you pointing your guns directly at Marks and Spencer. How's that gone? It's gone really well. It's very popular with customers. It's a staple in the Bailey household, so we're enjoying it. There's some great products in there. And look, cost of living crisis, in any recession, there's a pressure on customers to save money, and eating out becomes a bit harder. I'd support any move to support the hospitality industry. I think it's going to be tough over the next period of time. But if customers are in a frame of mind to treat themselves and have a sort of a restaurant dinner at home, then that £12 meal deal hits the spot. And it's going really well, and customers are responding. So we'll probably support it going on. And you've also had some fairly well-publicised issues with IT lately. Have all those been resolved now? I think they might have been slightly exaggerated, but and you're never quite out of the woods entirely with IT, as anyone will tell you. But yes, we've got, the reference there is availability in products of our stock system. And as I said, all of our shops at the moment are record-breaking availability. We've got plenty of products out there, so we're really pleased with where we are.
Now, a lot of grocery industry bosses spend the week ahead of Christmas going around the country and visiting all the stores. Is that going to be the case for you over the next few days?
It is, yeah. I've got a couple of meetings online after this, and then I'm off to shops. I was off in shops yesterday and last week, and then next week is a bit of a magical mystery tour. Just being out there with the customers and the partners in branch just to see what the atmosphere is like, how much stock we've got, how it's going. So yeah, I will be on a tour of the UK next week, basically.
So there you are. If you're in a Waitrose outlet any time in the near future, do look out. You might see James Bailey in there. Some other business news stories for you now. BT has announced a major reorganisation this morning under which it will merge its global and enterprise units into a single operation called BT Business. The company said the move could save it at least £100 million by the end of 2025. BT's enterprise unit serves an estimated 1.2 million businesses in the UK and the Republic of Ireland, while its global unit does the same for business customers in 180 countries around the world. Well, Philip Jansen, BT's chief executive, said the new arrangement would benefit business customers who would benefit from faster innovation and delivery. The Components Distribution Group RS said this morning that its chief executive Lindsley Ruth was stepping down with immediate effect. Mr Ruth, who's been chief executive for more than 7 years, has overseen a sharp improvement in sales and earnings. Shares of RS, which were previously known as Electro Components, have more than trebled in value during his time at the helm, and the company is now a fixture in the FTSE 100. Well, the company said Mr Ruth was stepping down for personal reasons. He will be replaced on an interim basis by David Egan, the chief financial officer. And shares of Games Workshop have risen by more than 13% this morning after the Gaming and Collectibles Group struck an agreement in principle with Amazon to develop its intellectual property into film and television productions. Under the agreement, Games Workshop has granted Amazon associated merchandising rights, with the first such deal covering the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Well, Games Workshop, based in Nottingham, stressed that while the parties have reached agreement on material commercial terms, the project was wholly dependent on and subject to contracts being agreed and entered into. Now, during the last 45 minutes, the latest Flash Purchasing Managers Index survey data for the UK has landed. It's an early snapshot of how the economy has been performing this month. With anything over 50 representing growth and anything below that a contraction, the composite figure for the UK has come in at 49, up from 48.2 in November. It represents the highest reading for 3 months. Services, the biggest part of the economy, has stopped shrinking with a reading of 50, up from 48.8 in November. But manufacturing is down from 44.7 to 43.9. Well, joining me now is Chris Williamson. He's Chief Business Economist at S&P Global Market Intelligence. Chris, welcome to you. So things are improving, but the economy is still contracting.
Yeah, it's quite a difficult message, but we're still in a downturn. So it looks like GDP, economic output in the UK will have fallen for a second consecutive quarter in 3 months to December. So that technically means a recession. But the good news here is that that downturn looks to be easing in terms of its intensity. So a mixture of news here. On the brighter side, and especially the service sector seems to have stabilised. And there was a big change in the last couple of months in financial services in particular. Now, this is where things get a little bit tricky. We're trying to decipher what the trend is, because obviously a couple of months ago with the mini budget, financial services in particular were hit hard by all of the turmoil that ensued after that budget, with, for example, some mortgage products being removed and the markets being rattled and the pound falling. It looks like some of that stability has come from that easing of those concerns over that budget, but that leads us to think, are we just seeing a bit of noise in the economic data now? Are we still on an economic downturn trajectory here, or are things really turning around? It's a bit too early to say.
Yeah, that's fascinating about financial services. I mean, particularly given what we hear about the mortgage market. I know mortgages are only one part of financial services, but nonetheless, activity there does appear to have been dampened.
It's certainly, but there again, I think October was a bit of the eye of the storm, even for the mortgage and the housing market. There was a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty created by that mini budget. And it's certainly done some ongoing damage, but it does look like the worst of it is behind us. And indeed, we saw some similar Eurozone numbers out this morning, where again, it looks like the intensity of the downturn in the Euro area which remains our biggest trading partner, that intensity peaked back in October. In the Eurozone, for example, there was a lot of concern about energy supplies over the winter, which have abated in recent months. So it looks like Europe as a whole may not go through the sort of downturns that many were fearing over the winter.
Now, I guess the worst part of the survey data out today concerns manufacturing. I mean, it looks as though new orders are drying up.
Yeah, manufacturing is being hit hard across Europe, but most notably in the UK. Order books still very much in decline, exports falling rapidly. Manufacturing is leading this downturn, very much so. One upside of that is that supply chains, which were ravaged during the pandemic with widespread shortages causing prices to spike higher, that situation is reversing now, whereby supply chains are starting to improve. And with that comes a situation whereby manufacturers looking to buy inputs that were previously in scarce supply are managing now to negotiate better prices. So we're seeing across the board input costs now rising at the slowest rate for 16 months as these shortages are the lowest that we've seen during the pandemic. And this is a key indicator of future inflation. It suggests that companies' costs are rising at a much reduced rate, and we'll begin to see that feed through to prices on the high street going forward.
Well, that is good news. I mean, what did you hear more broadly from survey respondents about inflation?
Well, certainly that there's this big change from it being a seller's market to now signs that it's becoming a buyer's market. And that's right through the supply chain. That's from manufacturers buying raw materials, the very basic stuff, metals and so forth, right through to their customers who are now saying, look, we need to try and negotiate some lower prices with you for consumer goods that are going onto the high street. So that is a sea change. That is this shift where the pricing power is now moving very slightly, but it is a change to the buyer, not the seller.
All right, Chris, we have to leave it there. Good to talk to you this morning. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you, Ian.
Still to come on Ian King Live, we'll have a look at how the markets are going into the weekend. Don't go away.
And now it's coming from both sides and it's moving this way.
Only about half a mile from the Turkish coast, and it's evident that the boat seriously overcrowded. This is one of the most severe viruses in the world.
I'm Alex Crawford and I'm Sky's special correspondent based in Istanbul.
The biggest party Tripoli has ever seen.
That's it. It got us then. There's a lot of action going on. A lot of hits coming in still. We aim to be the best and the most trusted place in news.
Clearly not had very much to eat at all. A lot of them extremely thin and very frail. Look at her arms. I can put my entire hand round.
This is the cocktail of drugs which the doctors at this hospital have been giving their coronavirus patients. Made for people who want clarity in an uncertain world.
Mother Nature can be vicious, absolutely savage. The world's largest falls now down to a trickle in places.
I can't imagine how much plastic is lying at the bottom of this huge lake. Whoa!
Close and personal with a rhino.
This is what makes the job so fantastic.
Well, Wall Street saw another major sell-off last night following the Federal Reserve's increase on Wednesday evening of its estimates of how high interest rates may ultimately have to go. The S&P 500, the Nasdaq and the Dow all hit their lowest levels since early November, with the latter suffering its biggest one-day fall in 3 months. Well, that was followed by largely negative trading in the Asia-Pacific region overnight. Hong Kong eked out a modest gain. Elsewhere, there were falls in Tokyo, Shanghai, Sydney, Mumbai and in Singapore. Well, in Europe, stocks have also traded to the downside this morning. Here's the current picture. All of the main continental European indices in negative territory right now. And here in London, the FTSE 100 is also in the red right now, currently off by just over 1% there, some 89 points off nearly. It's a pretty broad-based sell-off. In terms of the percentage fallers in the FTSE, well, the distributor Bunzl and the silver miner Fresnillo, they are the biggest fallers in percentage terms. Not too many gainers to mention, to be honest with you. But Standard Chartered is benefiting from the gains in Hong Kong. That's up in sympathy with the Hang Seng. Unilever, look at that. Well, that was up earlier on in the session, now more or less unchanged. It settled a long-running row yesterday with the independent board of Ben & Jerry's over the sale of its Israeli business. Outside the FTSE, the Mecca Bingo and Grosvenor Casino operator Rank Group, the shares off there nearly 9% following a profits warning, while shares of the booking app Trainline, they're off nearly 7% on adverse broker comment. My friends at Peel Hunt have done the damage there. On the foreign exchange markets, well, it's all been about the US dollar over the last 24 hours. The pound has given back all of this week's gains against the greenback. Currently, sterling off by nearly 1/5% against the dollar. It's also down against the euro there. Couldn't show you that because we've dashed onto the oil price, which is lower, partly on the back of the rising dollar, of course. Barrel of Brent crude will currently set you back $79.29 a barrel. That is off just under 2.5%. Well, joining me today is Victoria Scholar, Head of Investment at Interactive Investor. Victoria, good to see you this morning. Obviously a massive day, massive week for central bank decisions. What are your main takeaways at the end of all this?
Yeah, a huge week for central banks with the ECB, the Bank of England and the Fed, of course. And we saw that 50 basis point move from all three central banks. Now, the talk going into this week was that we thought we were going to see a slight shift towards more dovish policy, in the sense that we saw much greater interest rate hikes before, now moving to more moderate policy. But actually, I think the takeaway after these announcements is actually that interest rates are going to be going up for longer. And actually, we're not out of the woods. There's still a lot of concern for markets, and central bank policymakers are still very concerned about inflation, even though we've started to see some of those CPI readings come down.
And even though the trajectory of interest rates, I mean, there is divergence here. You know, the Fed are indicating they may be higher for longer. The Bank of England yesterday almost indicating, you know, it's kind of, the market's got it right now after last month's scare.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, if we look at the dot plot, which is the medium-term expectations from Fed policymakers about their outlook for interest rates, we saw that their forecast for where the terminal rate ends up, which is where interest rates peak, is likely to be higher next year. So it's going to be actually above 5%, whereas before we thought it was going to be within the 4%. So it looks as though, at least from the Fed, that we are looking at some tighter policy going forward, and that's why we've seen some strength coming back for the US dollar. Of course, we know the dollar was very much the king dollar for the most part of this year until September. Then we saw that turn around when the pound started to gain strength again against the greenback. But now we've started to see that trade turn around a little bit again. So possibly some strength coming back for the greenback.
It's a funny thing because, I mean, I've seen loads of year-end look-aheads from all the investment banks this week, and most of them are all talking about the dollar tapering off next year, potentially very good news for emerging markets in particular. And yet, you know, what we've seen over the last 48 hours is kind of a reverse of all that.
Yeah, I think it's not as straightforward as that we've seen this, you know, uptrend for the dollar and now we're going straight into a bearish trend. I think what we're going to see in terms of 2023 is a lot of volatility, not just in the currency markets, but in the equity space as well. Those pressures for inflation, even though they are easing off, still remain. And we are looking to continue to see higher interest rates, again, likely to be a downward force on equity markets. So we're bracing for further gyrations, and portfolio managers are looking at ways to try to position more defensively, looking at more defensive sectors like pharmaceuticals, for example, moving away from some of the consumer discretionary sectors towards consumer staples instead.
Now, obviously, we've got the retail sales figures out this morning.
Broadcasting live online. Turn it on. Turn it up.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Make that move now this festive season to your new home address at GHS Housing Estate. From now to 31st January 2023, we are offering you an amazing 5% buyer's discount on all purchases on our expandable 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom detached homes at Cochrane Villa, Pokwase, just 5 minutes drive from the interchange. The Mayflower and the new Hazel Courts at Kuntusi, 20 minutes drive from Achimatamo. Beautiful homes in a serene and gated community with flexible payment plans available. Call us now on 0544 347 980 or 0544 347 981. GHS Housing Estates. View it, love it, own it. Make that move now this festive season to your new home address at GHS Housing Estate. From now to 31st January 2023, we are offering you an amazing 5% buyer's discount on all purchases on our expandable 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom detached homes at Cochrane Villa, Pokwase, just 5 minutes drive from the interchange. The Mayflower and the new Hazel Courts at Kuntusi, 20 minutes drive from Achimatamo. Beautiful homes in a serene and gated community with flexible payment plans available. Call us now on 0544 347 980 or 0544 347 981. GHS Housing Estates. View it, love it, own it.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clemens, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of digging the hole of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019,
forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Make that move now this festive season to your new home address at GHS Housing Estate. From now to 31st January 2023, we are offering you an amazing 5% buyer's discount on all purchases on our expandable 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom detached homes at Cochrane Villa, Pokwase, just 5 minutes drive from the interchange. The Mayflower and the new Hazel Courts at Kuntusi, 20 minutes drive from Achimota Mall. Beautiful homes in a serene and gated community with flexible payment plans available. Call us now on 0544 347 980 or 0544 347 981. GHS Housing Estates. View it, love it, own it.
Body is your man. Bekutu, show them you got the cocoa set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Starr Radio. Don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for home. For here, we they call them London. And that's how you know. Just have fun and stay blessed.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
All around the world.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Smile though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and The Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio
This is
UK.
Starr Radio
UK.
This is Starr Radio
UK.
Welcome.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Those of you on other planets as well, we want to welcome you to the Friday edition of the morning show. Today is the 16th of December, the year 2022, with the time now 10:43 from the hearts of London. A very cold London, of course. Temperatures dropped up to about -8. But hey, we are well and kicking, aren't we? And as we say on this platform, Nigeria has not happened to any one of you, have it? Alright then, so let me say good morning to my team this morning. Mr. Frank Davis all the way back in Ghana, working behind the scenes. Mr. Olayomi will be joining us exactly at 11 o'clock for updates from Nigeria. And Mr. Dan Tabiri, CEO of GIL Accountancy Services and Money Man, who will be joining us exactly at 12:30 for the Money Hour. But let me say good morning to my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy. Doing so wonderful, making sure everything is ticking along nicely. Francis, good morning to you. And let me say a massive good morning to all management and staff in Ghana this time round. To our new friends, GHS Housing Limited, especially to Janet Okai. And to the team there, massive good morning to you. And let's say good morning to Bishop Adeshina. To all our listeners, those of you in Americas, those of you in Europe, those of you in Asia, those of you in Australia and Ghana, especially in Nigeria, I salute each and every one of you. That is how we do it. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. Okay, just in case you tune in for the first time on a Friday edition of the morning show, this is how the program goes. I'll bring you the quote for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update as well. And we'll look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe, known as Global Trotting. Then after that, at 11 o'clock exactly, we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki joining in to bring you updates from Nigeria. Well, the announcement was made last Wednesday pertaining to the Yoruba. Is it the rally, the mega rally? But Yomi will be telling you more about that once I have him on. And then after that, we'll continue to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. Now, we thought that the 24th of February, when the Russian attack on Ukraine started, was going to be just last for maybe a month or. But see, we've gone so far. 10 months on, almost, and we are still going on. What is the end game? How do we broker peace? In these times where everything seems to be, you look at the base rates here in the UK and it seems to be going up. And all the challenges that is going on economically across the globe. You want to know more about that? We'll be talking more about that as well. We'll be touching on stories making the rounds in Ghana, Nigeria, in South Africa, and on the African continent as well. And then exactly at 12 o'clock, the lines will be open so you can add your voice to the discussions. Exactly at 12:30, we bring the first part of the program to a close, where we'll be having Mr. Tabiri, CEO of GIL Accountancy Services, our money man, who'll be telling you how in this treacherous and difficult and challenging times when it comes to the economy, you'll be able to make it. All right then. So then after that, we'll bring the curtains down for the end of the program. But while you want to know more, stay tuned. Don't touch the dial. Keep your dial still long on Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, running behind time, so let's hit it. But let me say good morning to Amala Adeyemi. Oh, good morning to you. I hope you're doing very, very well. Anthony Adedeji, massive good morning to you and to all the Americans. To our old envoy, Tocino, all the way in Moscow. Massive good morning to you. Okay, so the quote for the day says, let your legacy be kindness. Sums it up nicely. Let your legacy be kindness. In these times and these seasons, the season of giving, right? Yes. So make sure, the good book says, for God so loved the world that he gave. So it is time for you to also give to somebody. You can give them Starr Radio UK. What about that? All right then. Okay, let's move on straight to the weather front because we are running behind schedule. I'll tell you more about the travels because this morning wasn't easy at all. Okay, for those of you who sounded the southern part of London or the southeastern part of England, okay, he said today is going to be another dry and fine day for most with dry conditions for most, just one or two patches of cloud developing in the afternoon. But tonight is expected to be clear and dry for all, with little in the way of any cloud. Another cold night expected once again. Top temperature is going to be 2 degrees, the lowest is going to be -4. But when it comes to London itself, well, the temperature is going to be 2 and the lowest is going to be -4 as well. When it comes to the weekend, tomorrow, God willing, that's Friday the 17th, temperature is going to be 5 degrees and the lowest is going to be -1. A mixture of cloud and sunshine. And come Sunday, it's going to be rainy, and it's going to be a milder temperatures there as well. 7 degrees top and 7 degrees will be the lowest as well. So, a good one there. For those of you who are wishing that the weather changes, some good news coming your way. Time for tonight then. So now let's crack on. Sunset is going to be at 15:52 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 080 hours. Starr Radio UK. Let's take a quick commercial break, and once we come back, I'll bring you the travel update. Stay tuned and don't touch the dial. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Make that move now, this festive season, to your new home address at GHS Housing Estates. From now to 31st January 2023, we are offering you an amazing 5% buyer's discount on all purchases on our expandable 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom detached homes at Cochrane Villa, Pokwase, just 5 minutes drive from the interchange. The Mayflower and the new Hazel Courts at Kuntusi, 20 minutes drive from Achimatamo. Beautiful homes in a serene and gated community with flexible payment plans available. Call us now on 0544 347 980 or 0544 347 981. GHS Housing Estates. View it, love it, own it.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads as we keep you navigated. Our story, yes, our promise and our bond, what we promise you, we make sure that we deliver on it. Yes, helping you on your travels this morning. As I did say, well, there's lots happening when it comes to your travels this morning, but I'm here to bring you all the information that you need to know if you have to travel. Well. So there is another strike going on at the moment, and therefore the Bakerloo Circle District Elizabeth Line have all got suspension there. Elizabeth Line, of course, have got severe delays, and then there are minor delays on the London Tram Link as well. But that aside, Central Line, Hammersmith City, and Jubilee Line have all got good services. Also, London Overground has got past suspension and reduced service there as well. It's all due to industrial action taking place. But moving on to the major roads in London, as I told you earlier on, due to the train cancellations or the strike that is going on, there is so much traffic on the way. So if you're going to travel, if you have an appointment, please, you have to leave on time so you don't miss your appointment. Now, on the A20, there are closures A24, A4, Central London Red Routes, and North Circular have A406 has all got closures there as well. Now, A40 has got serious delays. If you can avoid it, do your best to avoid that. But that aside, all the others have got no exceptional delays. But keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads as we keep you navigated. Our promise, our bond. On the river bus this morning, the Woolwich area has got special service. Well, the weather is cold. Somebody will say, how do you travel on the London cable car? Good service there as well. Now, moving on to the National Rail, as I did say, well, they are all, apart from this one's, special services running due to the industrial action. So Lumo, West Midlands Railway are the only ones, West Midland trains are the only ones that have got good service. All the others have got special service. So please check before you embark on your journey. So on that note, once again, let me say it as I normally will do. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Welcome back to the program, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. The time now is exactly 6 minutes to the top of the hour. So let's go global. Trotting. What is happening across the globe when it comes to Nigeria, as I will say? Well. Now, Nigeria Army promotes 122 brigadier generals and colonels making the rounds there. A man caught publicly bathing with blood in Ogun reveals why he did it. That's a serious one. And please discover IPOB years and alleged biggest bomb factory. Well, was there a factory? Someone say, what are the push factors? What actually pushed them to actually go or embark on such a journey? We'll be looking at that. Banks ran out of new Naira demand. So, well, we know until January, I think there's a date in January where withdrawals are going to be controlled there in Nigeria, but I don't know whether people have gone ahead of it to make sure that they just go withdraw as much as they can now. Okay, now 4 critically injured at Asake's London concert venue. Yes, it's an incident that happened here in Brixton last night. Northern Christian interested in region's unity. The CAN chairman is saying appeal court sets aside judgment sacking all APC candidates in Rivers. And then Nigeria secures Nigeria secures $9 billion loan from World Bank. Nigeria's inflation rises to 21.47% in November NBS. Okay then, so a lot more going to be coming your way from that point, but wherever you are, don't touch the dial. Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, when we move straight on to South Africa or some part of Africa as well, Zuma launches private prosecution bid against Ramaphosa. Interesting, because I knew that was going to be coming pretty soon. Now, President Cyril Ramaphosa has been charged in a private prosecution with a criminal offense of being accessory after the fact in the crimes. Well, we'll be telling you more about that. Well, Zuma is facing as to whether he's going to be nominated to lead the ANC in the next elections, or though the ANC is standing by him during this time where he's being charged for some corruption of a sort. But more will be coming your way on that front. It is all coming your way from Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And also, now moving on straight to Ghana, city goes for eight Ghana cities to $1 on interbank market and £10.50 on forex market. So it seems like the city seems to be gaining. But what is making the city gain? What is shoring it up? Is it the confidence that, or the fact that they're looking forward to this bailout by how much are they talking about? About 3 billion from the IMF. Is that what is helping them there? But interestingly, one other story making the rounds in Ghana as well. The special prosecutor is yet to receive salary after 16 months in office. My goodness. So how is a man supposed to be doing his work? I mean, how will somebody of that sort not be corrupted? Because if I'm not being given any money to actually leave. Let me put it that way. Okay, I'll go about my own private business and stuff like that, and I have to be working for 16 months. How is he actually surviving? Why hasn't he gone on a strike? Interesting one there. But we'll be telling you more about that in a moment. All coming your way from Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, one other story. Let's come to other parts of the world as well. Looking at some of the stories making the rounds there. Russia massively attacking Ukraine with power and water hits. Now, I don't know how these guys or these people are going to be surviving during this winter time. And I can tell you, back here when since last week when we had that cold weather coming in, and then last Sunday it was very cold. Sunday very cold, and it's gone on and on and on and on, and it always just lasting up to about a week, or call it 10 days, and then we have a bit of relief. But if it happens that this is happening in Ukraine, constantly because of this bombing, then what is going to happen to the citizens there? It's quite an interesting one. So we'll be following it very closely. Ukraine says Russia is planning major ground attacks. President Zelensky and the senior officials warned that Kyiv and its allies must guard against complacency. All right then, more stories making the round. Thousands of JFK assassination files has been released as well. A giant hotel aquarium with 1,500 fish explodes. My goodness, I don't know how it's quite the pictures that I'm watching at the moment. Something that happened in Europe. Now 2 people are injured at the Berlin aquarium containing 1 million liters of water bursts open. A lot more going to be coming your way from there. But when it comes to the UK front, real impact at Christmas to be minimal, says Lynch, as fresh strikes begin. Now, snow and ice are adding to travel difficulties. Rail workers begin their latest workout, and also the highways are also embarking on some strike as well. So it's not going to be an easy time for us during this time. But hey, wherever you are, so continue to keep your dials locked on Star Radio UK. And I promise you one thing for sure: we're going to make your day, keep you warm, keep you, whatever you are thinking or doing, sane. All right then. Okay. One other story. Time for Labour, says Starr, after by-election win. Labour has won another by-election. Now Labour increases its vote share in the Stratford and Amston, which it has held since the seat's creation. Well, so those are some of the stories making the rounds there on Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We're going to take a break, and I'm going to bring you some music, and after that we'll be having Miss Olayomi Koiki joining in. Stay tuned, and don't you think of going away.
Make that move now this festive season to your new home address at GHS Housing Estate. From now to 31st January 2023, we are offering you an amazing 5% buyer's discount on all purchases on our expandable 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom detached homes at Cochrane Villa, Pokwase, just 5 minutes drive from the interchange. The Mayflower and the new Hazel Courts at Kuntunsi, 20 minutes drive from Achimota Mall. Beautiful homes in a serene and gated community with flexible payment plans available. Call us now on 0544 347 980 or 0544 347 981. GHS Housing Estates. View it, love it, own it. Make that now this festive season to your new home address at GHS Housing Estate. From now to 31st January 2023, we are offering you an amazing 5% buyer's discount on all purchases on our expandable 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom detached homes at Cochrane Villa, Pokwase, just 5 minutes drive from the interchange. The Mayflower and the new Hazel Courts at Kuntunsi, 20 minutes drive from Achimota Mall. Beautiful homes in a serene and gated community with flexible payment plans available. Call us now on 0544 347 980 or 0544 347 981. GHS Housing Estates. View it, love it, own it.
Good God. Now look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, I have some gratitude in my spirit. I have some gratitude in my spirit.
Okay, something from the late Sammy Oposo. It talks about gratitude. This morning, one of my friends, one of the pastors who air their programs on Star Radio UK, did make a statement, and he said that your attitude to gratitude determines your altitude. What about that? Quite a mouthful, but it's very thoughtful. Okay, enjoy this tune and I'll be with you. Stay tuned.
Come on. One more. Everybody say, I thank you. I thank you. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. I thank you. And I thank you. Oh Lord. In looking at my life. generation. Are you ready? Come on. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you for loving me.
And all the things you have. Come on.
Lord, I thank you.
Oh, Lord.
Lord, I praise you.
Come on.
Thank you for loving me.
Lord. Come on, sing.
Lord, I thank you.
Lord, I thank you.
Lord, I praise you.
Lord, I praise you.
Thank you for loving me. All the things you have done.
This is Starr Radio. In your car,
At work.
at home,
On your smartphone.
All the things you have done for me. I thank you.
Come on.
I praise you, Lord. Thank you for loving me. All the things you have done for me. Lord, I praise you. Thank you for loving me. All the things you have done for me.
Everybody thank you. Everybody praise him. Thank you.
Thank you for loving me. All the things you have done for me.
Everybody lift your voice. This is my gratitude song. This is my gratitude song, Lord God.
All the things you have done for me.
Okay, something from Samuel so there. Yes, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, and we're going to be having Mr. Olayomi Koiki on to look at some of the stories making the rounds in Nigeria after that big announcement last Wednesday. What has been the response? And we'll be looking at all other stories that has also been shared. Now, Bami shed tears as family buried slain BRT passenger. It's one of the stories making the rounds there as well. But let us have the man himself, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, who will be joining in from the North London studios to bring you what is making the rounds in Nigeria this morning. So wherever you are, stay tuned. Don't touch the dial. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Also, Sharia court sentences Kano cleric to death by hanging for blasphemy. And we talk about this, that we are living in a country where the constitution works. Well, I know some will be saying yes, others will be saying no. But if we are, then what is exactly going on? But it's my singular honor to welcome once again the White Lion himself, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Yomi, massive good morning to you. No sound, Yomi, I can't hear you. Just bear with us whilst we get Mr. Olayomi's sound to come through, because he's also broadcasting on about 5 or 6 other platforms. So just bear with us. Just bear with us. Hello, Yomi. Okay.
in your car,
At work.
at home,
On your smartphone.
Yes, Yomi. No, it came and then went again.
Now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Well, a very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners in Europe, in UK, but it is good afternoon to all our listeners and viewers in Nigeria.
Okay. How have you been?
A little bit of rest, as usual. Quite a lot to continue to appreciate when you're alive. That is the most important thing. I'm doing very well. I'm not sure whether a lot of people in Nigeria are doing very well, especially with so much news that sometimes could be a little bit battling. But we are doing very well, and I hope you are doing as good as well.
Oh yes, doing very, very well. And let me once again apologize to our listeners for not being bringing you a live program yesterday, because we had to attend to some we had to get some technical upgrades going on, and therefore we couldn't do so. But hey, we are here today. So let's start from last Wednesday's Niger Voices, where the big announcement was made now as to when the rally was going to take place. Now, what has been the response before we come to Bamishe's story as well? Over to you.
Well, you're quite right. As usual, Niger Voices, is a program that comes up every Wednesday right here on Star Radio UK, and has been going on for almost 5 years now. And this is where we discuss issues affecting Nigerians, the diaspora Nigerians, and also those of us that have now questioned the Nigerianness as against Obasanjo, the former president, that says easy one Nigeria and he has shed his blood. So what we discussed over the Wednesday was coming from the breaking news that came 24 hours prior to Niger Voices, that has now come up to the super rally that will be coming up tomorrow from Ogun State. Still a lot of things that needs to be said around it, because the expectation was this rally will kickstart at almost all the states simultaneously, but that is not what is going to be happening. But tomorrow the rally kickstart from Ogun State, and then that will activate all other states with further instruction. And we were also privileged, to have the one and only Dr. Sunday Igboho that spoke to us on Star Radio UK at his very, very tight schedule. So if you've missed that particular episode of the Niger Voices, why not tune back to Star Radio UK social media handles, or the YouTube, the Facebook, and likewise on Twitter. But the most important way, check it on our podcast, and you'll be able to listen to that. It was a fantastic show, but also there has been a lot of reaction to some of those of us that are also in the movement that disagree with the super rally.
Okay, we'll be coming to that. I just wanted to give you a heads up on some of the issues that we're going to be discussing, because the latter part of the program we'll be looking at that and the reaction that has come from the government itself, if any. But wherever you are, still keep your dial so logged on Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, Bamishe was finally laid to rest, tears and up from family, friends, and loved ones. Now, what has been the reaction from the state, that Lagos State itself? I mean, were there any representatives on the ground to actually mourn with their family, with everything that happened?
We just actually got the live broadcast that was just ended with our reporter Star Radio UK and our sister broadcaster on the ground. There's no evidence of any representative from Lagos State that I am aware of, but it was all tears, in the eyes of the family of Bamishe Anyawala Abigail. She is 22 years old. Again, part of the crime that happen around the world, but also can be prevented if what we call the CRB has been checked on some of those that are employed, that would have to be, working in the public, domain. I mean, if you're going to be working on a bus system here, you would have to be verified, CRB checked, to make sure that you don't have any criminal background. But that was something that did happen on the bus rapid transport that eventually Bamishe boarded in February, and then the driver plus another vehicle behind that particular BRT bus, as is known in Lagos State, eventually raped her, removed some part out of the body. The body was dumped openly in an open way in Lagos State, where the body was eventually deposited somewhere until the family realized that she had a video, and that video was actually done in a particular bus. And it is not a local bus that you will board. This is a bus that belongs to the Lagos State government. The Lagos State government have still not been able, to give reasons why, the case is being delayed, because we have been following the case by going to the court, with the family. But as we speak right now, the BRT driver that works on behalf of the Lagos State, Andrew Ominicron, is facing count of conspiracy, rape, and murder over Anyawala's death. The bossman was said to be the one conveying, Anyawala from Oshodi, when Oluwa Bamishe observed that he refused to pick other passengers, and that flagged up. She knew something was wrong, but she was also in the video clip that she did and sent to her friend not to raise any alarm so that the family do not get panic. Only if she has said, raise that alarm, maybe that could have flagged up. She has now been eventually put to rest, but the family, which we have been able to speak to the family on the ground frequently, continue to say justice must now be served, even though Bamishe has finally been put to rest in Acton Cemetery with a lot of cries, with the children in there. 22 years of Bamishe has now left us, but the family continue to fight for justice.
Well, listeners, a very sad one, but we say once again, may her soul rest in perfect peace, and to the family, our condolences as well. But I mean, somebody would say that this is not only peculiar to Nigeria, but there are things that do happen in other parts of the world. Here we have police officers 7 police officers who have gone on to rape and cause all things. But at least if some diligence was done whilst these people were being employed, we would have seen that okay, we could get rid of them or bring it to a minimum, but that wasn't done, and this young lady lost her life. Okay, but let me say good morning to Pastor Momo. Hey, how are you doing? It's a good day to you both. May Bamishe's soul rest in perfect peace. Nigeria must stop the killings of innocent citizens. And thank you very much. Now, you have any comments, feel free, just post it whether on any of the social media handles, and I promise you one thing for sure, I'm going to acknowledge you. But it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, I made 40,000 daily. Fake LASMA officer saying the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority on Thursday confirmed the arrest of a fake traffic officer, David Oluchukwu, in the Lekki area of the state. Well, people can what say that what snake has swallowed big sums of money. Somebody is also trying to a fake. You want me to tell us more about that?
Well, we've seen fake lawyers, and, it can only happen probably not only in Africa, but most important Nigeria. I mean, there was one time the fake lawyer has attended a lot of court cases only for someone to flag him up at some point, whether he was actually qualified, and I'm not sure whether they will have to review some of the cases that he has done. This particular fake traffic officer, I mean, it's something that we've seen a lot, fake military personnel, fake naval officer. As long as you are able to get that uniform, nobody cross-check with you, especially if you're out there in the public domain and doing exactly what the other officers are doing. And especially if you're able to do it where the other officers are not there, then you are likely to get away with it. But the agency director of public affairs, Taufik Adebayo, in a statement said, the general manager of LASMA, Bolaji, confirmed that the suspect was actually nabbed by one of their patrol team monitoring and controlling traffic around Lekki axis. Adebayo said preliminary investigation conducted by the agency revealed that the arrested suspect belonged to a criminal gang, and they have been extorting huge sums of money from the innocent motorists apprehended for various traffic offenses. And one thing in Nigeria is if any traffic officer stop you, you always try to, for those that live in Nigeria, also bribe your way out, because when it gets to their office, you probably end up playing double. So that means he has been able to get away for this crime until he has now been picked up. And he was making a good money at about 40,000 naira daily, and I'm not sure he would have loved to stop it, but now that he has been caught, he will be facing a lot on his head.
Wow, interesting. Okay, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 11:20, and this is the Friday edition of the morning show. We know people are preparing and doing all sorts to get themselves ready for this festive occasion. Okay, but the federal government, states and local governments have shared 902 billion naira in November. That's what the FAAC is saying. Now, can you throw more light on that for us, please, Yomi?
Yes, sir. Starr Radio UK, once again, it is the morning show, the edition that brings you all the news headline from Nigeria as we review the dailies. The local government in Nigeria is about 774. But the question a lot of Nigerians have asked is, why have we not been able to see, the value, to making them active? Not that they are not getting, the money. And this is why, somebody like Atiku was saying in one of his conversations on Sunday that autonomy will be given back, to the local government, because it seems that the state governors tend to collect, the revenue coming from the federal government to the local government. 902 billion naira, was shared to 774 local government, and this is actually coming from the SS crude account, as the balance as of December also stand at $473 million US. The Federation Account Allocation Committee says 902 billion was shared with the 3 tiers of governors as federal allocation in November. This is contained in a statement issued by Philip, the spokesman for the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning. From the 902 billion, the federal government received 358 billion and the state received 270 billion, yet the local government also got 204 billion. But each time the money goes through to the local government, it has to go through to the governors, and the governors decide whether to release that money or not. And that is why each of the local government chairmen are always looking for one diaspora or one philanthropist just to make a project work in each of their local government. If I go to my local government somewhere in Ijebu, I'm not sure there is any existence of the local government. And these are so many reasons why development, poverty continue to be one of the major obstacles, where as of today, 133 million Nigerians are inside those we can categorize as living under abject poverty, according to the United Nations.
Well, listeners, it is All Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And so moving on, looking at some of the other stories making the rounds. The one other story making the rounds, the Kaduna State Governor, Nasir El-Rufai, has disclosed that tackling fuel subsidy and foreign exchange challenges to reposition Nigeria's economy to the next trajectory may cost Nigeria next president a second term. So he is saying that whoever wins, if they come to power, because if they have to take the subsidy away, that means that people are going to pay the real prices for the real cost of the fuel. So that will make them unpopular. But for all these years, Nigeria being how many? Number 5 when it comes to crude oil production. And so I asked myself the question: couldn't we, or can't Nigeria be in a place where government doesn't need to subsidize because the product is from them and their refinery and everything is going on, and that will stay? But what El-Rufai is saying there, how do you see it?
Well, according to Kingsley, it says a lawless country. Is Nigeria a lawless country, or have we not been able to use these resources, these natural resources that would have benefited a lot of Nigerians? What may cost the next presidential re-election? So it seems that El-Rufai, the governor of Kaduna State, where there's so much killings going on under his nose, but he was one of those that answered the security question on behalf of Emilokon here in London, which when Tinubu was here some few weeks back. He actually had to give a jam question to be answered by some of the students that came with him. The Kaduna State Governor, Nasir El-Rufai, was disclosing that tackling fuel subsidy and the foreign exchange this morning, we're looking at 912 naira to a pound, and also about 800 to 850 to $1. That is a staggering amount of money, and that literally means that the foreign exchange that the APC government made, at about almost 158, has shot up, and that also means the inflation and more challenges. So it now seems that he's all probably concerned that the chances of them being re-elected, or should any other party be re-elected, as if election will hold in the next couple of days, is another question that we have to look into. But despite that, the governor explained that the country needs such a leader that could rise beyond consideration of office and take painful but necessary decisions to ensure the country develop its economy. El-Rufai made this known during a panel discussion at the launch of the World Bank's Nigerian Development Update and Country Economy Memorandum on Thursday in Abuja. We know that the president is still in U.S., where he has met with the president of America, Joe Biden, with other African leaders, and I believe looking at the figure that also is coming out at about almost $55 billion US between all the African countries. I also saw Buhari watching football with Joe Biden. But going back to the problem in Nigeria, in the next 60 days, every Nigerian will decide what part they really want to be part of, whether those that still believe in an election or those that are ready to be part of those that want the right to self-determination. But according to him, the right policies, decisions will remove the word potential from Nigeria vocabulary, and Nigeria will finally be the country we deserve to be.
Well, when Nigeria be the country that it has to be, well, you want to know more? Wait for us, because lots more is going to be coming your way. With the election hold at all? That's the questions that people are asking when people are so desperate. And we're talking about a constitution that say this constitution governs the whole of Nigeria. However, there are some places that they think that they have a law, or they are a law to themselves, and therefore do things differently. And this pertains to the Sharia court that has sentenced a Kano cleric to death by hanging for blasphemy. Yomi.
Yeah. Right.
Yes, the Sharia court sentencing a Kano cleric to death by hanging for blasphemy. What did this person say and why? I mean, we're talking about they're living in the same country, governed or ruled by one constitution. Now, how can a court decide to a Sharia court decide to act that way?
Well, when you look at the present situation in Nigeria, the question is: are we running two different countries? The answer is definitely yes. I mean, in the northern part of the country, the Sharia law seems to be used more compared to the southwest and the southeast, where we use more of the normal law.
The constitution in that case, yeah.
Constitution.
Yeah.
So in Kano, you are likely to be used, to get what we call the Sharia sentence, or as we saw there, blaspheming the Kano cleric to death by hanging, according to the Sharia court. The defender was actually arraigned last year, July, by the Kano state government on 4-count child bordering on blasphemous comment against Prophet Muhammad, according to the Kano state government. But the question is, why the Sharia law? Why not the normal, law of Nigeria? These are also the nepotism, the subjugation, the equity, the justice that is not there. But the presiding judge, Ibrahim Sakayola, in 4-hour judgment yesterday said the prosecution had proved the case beyond reasonable doubt. Sakayola, sentenced the defendant to death by hanging for making blasphemous comment against Prophet Muhammad.
Well, what do you think about everything that is happening in Nigeria? You want to know more? Continue to listen to us on Starr Radio. You can follow all the programs that will bring your way from Nigeria, especially the Wednesdays evenings, where we bring you the Niger Voices. It goes into details, everything that you need to know when it comes to Nigeria. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Olakunle says, I greet everyone on here, and he continued to say, all those involved in Bamishe's death won't go unpunished. Of course, they won't go unpunished. But you want to know more? Stay tuned. Yomi, over to you with the rest of the stories and what is happening on the social media platform. Over to you.
Thank you so much. At just 30 minutes past 11 p.m. To my right hand side on the screen, there is again ongoing awareness and campaign in Ondo State, where the Yoruba Nation continue, to tell, those communities within the particular local government reason why going into 2023 is not viable for us. Also with them is the chief imam of the Yoruba land, where he's also going to be making his way from there, I believe, to Ogun State, where tomorrow the whole super rally will kickstart from Ogun State. But looking at the business in Nigeria, banks run out of naira, demand soar. Remember that we've seen the new domination that has been released, but it seems that something is definitely not going according to plan. Mixed reaction greeted the disbursement of the new naira note that officially went into circulation yesterday, with many bank customers demanding for the new note, while few others snubbed the latest bills in banking all across the major Nigerian city. The newly redesigned 1,000 naira and the 500 naira and the 200 naira bill that we've discussed in the last couple of weeks back is now in circulation. This was actually unveiled at the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting few weeks back. But the CBN governor on October 26 announced the plan to redesign 200 naira, 500 and the 1,000 naira note, while also declaring that the old dominations will cease to be a legal tender by January 2022. So I hope that the one I have will probably be something that will still be fine. If otherwise, it will still be part of where we can tell those when we get into what will no longer be Nigeria, that this used to be the currency. I would like to see what they used to spend in the Soviet Union prior to the dissolution of the Soviet Union and the Yugoslavia as well. So that is the reason why now there is not a much problem, but as the Christmas is getting closer, currency in circulation is now in high demand. Probably maybe some of the Nigerians are trying to pay the terrorists that are now saying that they probably won't be taking naira. They might be exchanging that for safer, the Beninese payment as well. Sanwo-Olu launches Sensible Lagos Lab to boost innovation. It needs to look into the crime against humanity, as Bamishe has been buried. We'll take one more. End forced smuggling. Oil workers tell federal government. This is one of the biggest, again, crime scene in Nigeria, where, as you said earlier, it is actually Nigeria is number 6 in the world when it comes to, the world, the 6th largest crude oil. We are not producing, but we have it in large quantity, but we rather send the production to be produced in UK and other countries around the globe, and that gives those countries more opportunity. The federal government and the operators in the downstream oil sectors are all culpable for the nationwide prolonged scarcity of the premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol. Yesterday, in Oyo State, Ibadan precisely, so many lives lost, building burnt down, and the reason for that is a fuel tanker, probably because of the bad road, tipped over, all the liquid inside the explosion. It took 4 hours before they were able to bring it under control, and this morning the damages has gone into millions. But there was a particular video that was going on, and the individual behind it was saying, why was the NNPC depot was shut down in your state that could have support the system rather than bringing it. So it seems again quite a lot of uncertainty when it comes to what should have been the best for Nigeria when it comes to the crude oil. So Pegason, a major union in the oil sector, also stated that operators were looking for ways to hike the cost of the petrol, but stressed that this will be opposed by the union. So as more Nigerians are saying, what is the benefit of having these produce natural resources but doesn't seem to be of any useful? The second Niger bridge have now officially been opened since yesterday till 15th of January to ease traffic during the Christmas period, according to the federal government. So let's take a look at why President Muhammadu Buhari is already trending at 35,000 this morning tweet. Let's quickly have a look at that. December 2014, Igbo presidency only possible after Buhari's 8 years. December 2022, I am stepping stone to Igbo presidency. And is this kind of lies particular to this particular tribe or what? Okay, I got the message now. So in this particular, when Buhari was coming, they've gone back to bring, the report in 2015, December 7, and the headline then was Igbo presidency only possible after Buhari's 8-year APC chieftaincies. But again, Atiku in 2022, yesterday, 2023, I am stepping stone to Igbo presidency. Mr. Atiku promised to revive industries in the southeast and also promised to dredge the river Niger to boost economic activities in the region. So this Twitter handle is now asking, is this kind of lies particular to this particular tribe or what, with a question mark? So let's see more why the president is trending. And I think somebody took a picture with President Muhammadu Buhari, not sure who. Let's see more. Again, not a lot, but this morning, again, in Biafra land, in Aba, protest is going on for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I was asking this question yesterday. Should Nnamdi Kanu not be released before the election? What would be the situation in the southeast part? And I can see mothers, and more of women alone here, all in their thousands, asking for the president to release Nnamdi Kanu since the court have acquitted him. But the president himself will be 80 years old, tomorrow. President Muhammadu Buhari will clock 80 tomorrow, Saturday, 17th. He's still in America. We're expecting him back in the country on the 18th, according to his media aide. And that is how far this morning. I will come back to you, Mr. Archie. We can then finish up the Friday edition of the morning show. But right now, in my screen, quite a lot of engagement in the market, where the chief imam, the teams there continue to take the Yoruba Nation awareness into Ondo State.
Well, listeners, Star Radio UK, Mr. Olayomi here in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios. But let me read a bit of the comments and then I'll come to Yomi, then we will run up there. Now, Pastor Momo says the problem with Nigeria is that if the wicked are ruling the nation, sin will be everywhere. Olakunle says we can't continue like this, and we Yorubas must have our nation. We are sick and tired of all the injustice going on in the British company called Nigeria. Now, Pastor Momo also continues to say the ruling class politicians and even the religious groups are not helping matters. General outrage is the only solution. And then Olakunle comes on to say tomorrow the 17th of December marks the beginning of the last dance, and it will be the beginning of the end of the forceful marriage by Lord Lugard. Pastor Momo continues, yes, everyone need to go back to their region. We call for Yoruba nation. And he says yes, and Pastor Momo says let him get lost. Which birthday? And he's talking about the president, his 80th birthday. Well, he's talking his 80th. Now, what about that? Well, listen, it's Starr Radio. Okay. Now, you know what I mean? The super rally. Now, so how is it going to be like? I mean, how is that dress? How is it going to be like? Can you give us some sneak view for those of us who will not be able to get there on the ground? How it's going to feel like, and how we can also get involved in it?
Well, 10 o'clock interchange in Ogun State. Is where everybody will assemble to then move, the rally, to start tomorrow. So the whole plan from the organizer and the instruction is, there will be people who will be coming down. They were expecting, a large turnout, and then that will then kickstart, stay there, for the couple of days. But in the next 5 days, Oyo State will then activate, but the Ogun State, which starts tomorrow, is expected to hold the ground, and then all other states will eventually kick in as well. So more instruction, for so many other reasons, are not given out until tomorrow, where we'll be giving more other details. But for now, the organizers are all, gearing up. More people will be traveling, from other states because of the distance. Yes, a lot of people have actually asked, why, the whole state haven't activated rather than one particular state. But like they said, you don't put all your egg in one basket. But definitely, all other states would eventually be activated, at the appropriate time, which is not going to be a very long time before the end of this month.
Okay, listeners, that is for your information, especially those of you who are listening to us from Nigeria. We're going to be on the ground. I've said it and say it several times that if you believe in a cause, you're convicted about it, you have to stand for it. Listen, at times you might lose your life or lose your property because of that. But remember that maybe your children or your children's children or posterity will be the one who will be the judge of it all. That, well, he fought or stood for a good cause. What about that? So, Yomi, before we go,
well, stay tuned with Mr. Archie to take you through the rest of the segment. Definitely, I'll be back over the weekend, with more updates on all other platforms that we have on. But I'll be back with the team again on Monday morning, where we continue the update coming out of Nigeria. But for now, I say have a very good morning and a very good afternoon, and stay tuned for more news from Mr. Archie. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Have a lovely weekend. Well, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koike bringing you updates from Nigeria. This is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bring it a time now to exactly 90 minutes to the top of the hour. And as I did say earlier on, today, exactly at 12 o'clock, the lines will be open for you to add your voice to the discussions. And then at 12:30, we'll bring the first part of the program to close to make way for the money man himself, Mr. Tabiri, CEO of GIL Accountancy Services, to come your way with the money hour. So wherever you are, keep your dial still locked on Starr Radio UK. But now, let's take a music break. And we are in the festivities, the Christmas festivities. So let us enjoy some Christmas tunes. And this time around from Solomon Lounge. Enjoy it and I'll be with you.
The Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven all
deserts of the Sahara, to the coastal forests of the Atlantic, and into the nation's central hinterlands, peace shall reign. For unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given, for he is the King of peace. Merry Christmas, Nigeria. The deserts of the Sahara, to the coastal forests of the Atlantic, and into the nation's central hinterlands, peace shall reign. For unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given, for he is the King of peace. Merry Christmas, Nigeria. Merry Christmas, Africa. Merry Christmas, world.
Let there be peace all over the land. Let there be peace. Let there be peace all over Nigeria. Let we jubilate, oh, let jubilate. Let we celebrate, oh, let we jubilate, oh. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you.
Make that move now, this festive season, to your new home address at GHS Housing Estate. From now to 31st January 2023, we are offering you an amazing 5% buyer's discount on all purchases on our expandable 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom detached homes at Cochrane Villa, Pokwase, just 5 minutes drive from the interchange. The Mayflower and the new Hazel Courts at Kuntunsi, 20 minutes drive from Achimotamo. Beautiful homes in a serene and gated community with flexible payment plans available. Call us now on 0544 347 980 or 0544 347 981. GHS Housing Estates. View it, love it, own it. Make that move now, this festive season, to your new home address at GHS Housing Estate. From now to 31st January 2023, we are offering you an amazing 5% buyer's discount on all purchases on our expandable 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom detached homes at Cochrane Villa, Pokwase, just 5 minutes drive from the interchange. The Mayflower and the new Hazel Courts at Kuntunsi, 20 minutes drive from Achimotamo. Beautiful homes in a serene and gated community with flexible payment plans available. Call us now on 0544 347 980 or 0544 347 981. GHS Housing Estates. View it, love it, own it.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The whole of darkness.
So what did that
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Make that move now, this festive season, to your new home address at GHS Housing Estate. From now to 31st January 2023, we are offering you an amazing 5% buyer's discount on all purchases on our expandable 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom detached homes at Cochrane Villa, Pokwase, just 5 minutes drive from the interchange. The Mayflower and the new Hazel Courts at Kuntusi, 20 minutes drive from Achimotamo. Beautiful homes in a serene and gated community with flexible payment plans available. Call us now on 0544 347 980 or 0544 347 981. GHS Housing Estates. View it, love it, own it.
Okay, welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to exactly 5 minutes to the top of the hour. And I am Archie. We continue with all the other stories making the rounds. Just bear with me and the technical team working behind the scenes. Yes, trying to pull all the plugs to make sure that everything is ticking along nicely. Let me say once again, thank you to you, Mr. Francis Guy, my able producer there as well. Well, this afternoon there's going to be lots of music coming your way. More music, less talk. And if you have to work with you, it's not going to be with us this evening because of the festivities. A few parties here and there, but hey, we're going to make sure that you'll be enjoying all the programs over the weekend. Yes, all the activities that will be coming your way, church services and everything, we'll be bringing them live your way. And you know what, let me bring you my Christmas greetings. Yamawana Fishapo. Hey listeners, this is Starr Radio UK, your favorite Afro-Caribbean radio station in London, and we wish all our listeners a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Stay blessed. Okay, so that is greetings from Starr Radio UK to all our lovely listeners across the globe, wherever you might be. Now, let's move on to some other stories making the rounds on the African continent. Zuma has launched a private prosecution bid against Ramaphosa. Now the story says, now you see them back in the day when they were pals, they were all laughing, shaking hands, hugging and all stuff, but hey, see how things have changed. Now South Africa's former president Jacob Zuma has instituted a private prosecution against his successor Cyril Ramaphosa. The announcement was made by the Jacob Zuma Foundation on Thursday, but did not specify what the charges were. Ramaphosa has been criminally charged, the Jacob Zuma's foundation said. Now, President Cyril Ramaphosa has been charged in a private prosecution with a criminal offense of being accessory after the fact in the crimes committed by, among others, Advocate Downer, namely breaching the provisions of the MPA Act. The serious crimes for which Mr. Ramaphosa has been charged with in a court of the law carried a sentence of 15 years imprisonment, the foundation have said. Now, how exactly Ramaphosa ties with the case between Downer and Zuma is not stated, nor whether there has been a null prosequa, a certificate issued by the NPA, indicating an unwillingness to prosecute Ramaphosa on the specific charges. Now, you see what is happening there. But how will the strike from Zuma affect Ramaphosa's re-election campaign? In a sharp response on Twitter on Friday morning, President Ramaphosa accused Mr. Zuma of abuse of legal process. He termed the charges completely spurious and unfounded. Well, we know Ramaphosa is already rallying himself in some serious issue there. However, he wants to add more fuel to the fire. But Zuma is also attending the ANC National Elective Conference as a delegate at the NASREC over the weekend. So we see what happens there. What is going to be the story for them? Well. Starr Radio UK. By Monday, we will know, or over the weekend, we will know exactly what the proceedings, who has been elected to head or lead the ANC to the next election. Now, Ghana has been accused, Ghana's president accused Burkina Faso of hiring Russia Wagner mercenaries. It's one of the stories, and some people think that it's a betrayal of their brother. A brother country or a sister country. Which one is better? A sister or a brother country? I want to know what you think about that. But it's quite an interesting one. And then Senegal struggles to break dependence on imported rice. Well. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK and some of the stories making the rounds. Let me bring you the situation between Ghana's president's statement and the Burkina Faso government. The Ghanaian president Nana Akufo-Addo says his neighbor Burkina Faso has reached an agreement with the Russian paramilitary group Wagner. A statement the government in Ouagadougou declined to comment on Thursday. Now Burkina Faso has now made an arrangement to, like Mali, use Wagner forces, I believe, a mine in southern Burkina has been allocated to them as a form of payment for their services, he said during a meeting in the United States with the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. According to the Ghanaian head of state, Russian mercenaries are at the northern border of Ghana, which is particularly worrying. So that's where he's coming from. Now, so assuming, let's take it that we're going to be having the American troops also now at the borders of in Ghana, okay, trying to also help Ghana fight off any insurgents there. What are we going to be seeing? Is it a war between the West and Russia in the backyard of Ghana? Or what exactly is going to happen there? Now, if in the past we had the French troops and some UN troops there as well who were trying to fight the insurgents in those part of in the Sahel region, and up to now they've not been able to actually overcome them, and therefore some way somehow we have the French who have left some of these states, and we have Burkina Faso, with all the coup d'etats that have taken place there as well, aligning themselves with with Russia and having these guys there, and have given them maybe a mind to say that, well, we don't have the money to pay you, but we got these resources, you can take them out, but help us in this way. If they're getting the protection that they need, why not? And that is the question that others are asking. But it's already okay. 2 minutes past 12 the time, the morning show. We're going to take a break because I need to just quickly have a look at some story that has just been sent to us. The audit team are trying to the editing team are trying to just have a quick look at it, and then we can bring you away. But wherever you are, stay tuned, don't you go away. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Okay, listen to Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. One more commercial and then we will definitely, bring you the rest of the stories.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancer taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancer taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Star Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say order, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program Star Radio UK. 6 minutes past the top of the hour, and I'm going to announce the lines open. You want to get in touch with us? It's 0208 133 2257 or 58 0208 133 2257 or 58. Those of you in the US, Canada, and the Caribbean area, it is 001 718 303 2737 001 718 303 2737. You can also text or WhatsApp at 075 3966 44 075 3966 and 44. Our Twitter handle is at Star Radio UK, and email address is info@starradiouk.com. Stay tuned and don't you go away. Let's crack on with some more of the stories making the rounds. A couple of them from the African front, and then we move on from there. But what do you think about the issue pertaining to Ghana's president's assessment of what is going on in Burkina Faso? Should Ghanaians be worried about it? Is the president actually worried about that? Well, you want to know more? Keep your dials still logged on Star Radio UK, because out of the days, and Simon Fo will promise that we're going to be bringing that your way. It is Star Radio UK. Well, the city has gone for 8 Ghana city. I don't know why I'm saying pounds, because I live here in the UK. So now 8 cities, $1 on interbank market, and 10 Ghana cities 10.50 on forex market. Let me say good morning to Mr. Dave West. I hope you are doing very, very well, in regards to your lovely wife Jenny as well. All right then. So the story says the Ghanaian currency has continued to strengthen the trend against the US dollars and all the major foreign currencies. The city in the last 2 weeks has been on a path of resurgence against all the major trading currencies. The local currency is currently trading at 8 Ghana to $1 on the interbank market. It is however higher on the forex or retail market, with the average rate being 10 Ghana 50 50 pesos, right? Okay, my apologies for that, messing it all up. Pound and euro is also selling at 9.80. That's 1 pound is 9.80, and then 8.50 respectively to the city. This is per official interbank exchange rates published by the Central Bank, the Bank of Ghana, on Friday, December 16. The city's good run in recent weeks reflects more of a US dollar weakening, with some improved outlook around the city US dollar supply balance heading into next year. It is unclear why the sudden improvement of the local currency, but some market analysts are attributing it to a weakening of the US dollar against global currencies and a successful launch of a debt restructuring program on the staff level agreement the government has reached with the International Monetary Fund. Now, following this, the Ghana Union of Trade Association has appealed to its members to reduce the prices of their goods. Now, if you say they should reduce the prices of their goods, how much did they buy it for? Unless, of course, they bought it at a lower rate, and I mean, when the dollars was a bit low, the exchange rate was a bit lower than what was pertaining about a week ago and stuff like that, and therefore if you appeal to them, then maybe. But if they bought it at a higher price, then of course if they sell it at a lower price, then they're not going to be making anything, they're not going to be making profits. So are they working for charity? No. All right then, so let's look at what is going to happen on that front, but we'll be following very, very closely. What has shot up the city? Well, they said the staff the deal that they have with the IMF is what might have shot up the city. What do you think? The National Cathedral, not a sensible project. H. Kwesi Prempeh is saying. Whoa. Some Christians will be telling you, my friend, don't do that. Well, H. Kwesi Prempeh, he said the executive director of the Ghana Center for Democratic Development, the CDD Ghana, has added his voice to calls for government to suspend the construction of the controversial National Cathedral project. Now, Professor Henry Kwesi Prempeh says the current economic crisis does not make time for vanity projects such as the cathedral. Expressing his disappointment with the project, Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh said the project was not a sensible one, and I think he's going to ruffle the feathers of Christians in that part of the world. Well, and somebody will tell you that Jesus said something. He said the time is coming, the time is now, that those who worship God do not necessarily have to go to Jerusalem or wherever to go and worship God, but wherever they are, they have to just worship God in spirit and in truth. And therefore, we don't necessarily need an edifice to make sure that our prayers are heard, is it? Mr. John Tabiri, good afternoon to you. Now, contributing to a roundtable discussion organized by the Citizens Coalition on Thursday, December 15, he opined that it is not too late to suspend the project. According to him, the site can be used for important projects. Now, I don't know, can somebody send me some pictures? I think my colleague, Mr. Frank Davis, who is on the ground, will be sending us some pictures of it. At the moment, the state of it. And if it's gone beyond 50%, and then I mean, the Ghanaian culture once again, where we put monies into something and then we leave it halfway done, and we don't make any profit out of it. So you talk about the Saglemi project, and it's now there, and there are now lots of building projects and lots of. I remember back in the day, the secondary school that I did attend in the first 2 or 3 years before I came to a secondary school in Accra. That's University Secondary School in Edukrom Ekwapim. Very nice, cool place. Good place to study. I love the place, but oh my goodness. Now, it happened that there were some projects, some blocks that were left because the school was constructed by was it the SMC? The SMC? Government at the time, so I think it was a champion at the time, but when it was overthrown, they just stopped everything, and that particular part of the block was sitting and rotten out or off. So you ask yourself the question that how do we actually use money? So whilst I agree that, well, this edifice is not priority, I think that if they spend so much money in it, we don't have to leave it that way. We don't have to live. We don't have to live it that way. We might have to do something about it. Yes. No problem, Mr. Tabiri. We'll see to that. Yes. Thank you very, very much. We will see to that. Okay. Now I've got about another 16 minutes before we cross over to the money hour. We'll be looking at the autumn budget statement that was made by the Chancellor and how it's impacting us. And yesterday we had the Governor of the Bank of England actually increasing the base rate of interest. So from 3% to 3.5%, making loans and everything now more expensive than it has been. Now, what do you think about all that? We're going to be looking at it in a moment. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. There is no time for vanity project, but we have preserved a vanity project in the form of the cathedral. I was expecting that being a crisis period, we will reflect on that decision and say, even if this is sensible to do at all, I do not think so, that it will not be the appropriate period, or we will change the idea to something else. There is a lot that we can do still. We can still do with a site which can make sense, he said. But as I said, let's see how far it's gone, and that will determine whether we abandon it or we diversify it. Okay, its usage, of course. Well, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, the NDC will be going for over the weekend for their what do we call that? Elections. Yes, they'll be going for their elections. But what do you think is going to be happening there with everything that seems to be going on? People calling for the NDC to apologize for taking to court the election petition hearing and everything that went on there. Do you think credibility there? And how do you think that is going to impact the contender for the chairmanship, and that is General Mosquito? I mean, people are talking about all sorts, but you want to know more? Make sure that's also logged on. Because Starr Radio UK will make sure that we bring you all the necessary update that you need to know by definitely on Monday. But it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, don't you worry. I seem to be watching the footage on the CCTV, and I will let you know exactly. Okay, things seem to be ticking along nicely. Now, okay, the special prosecutor is said to have not been paid for the past 16 months. So the question is, how is he doing his work? And we want people like this not to be corrupted. But if they put a person in a situation where he has not got the means to even support himself, talk less his family, or maybe he's living on his allowance, he's not been paid, but he's living on an allowance. So what do you think about that? We live in a very wonderful world where, especially in Ghana, we see people doing all sorts. But what do you think about that? Let's see. Now, why the Rollins don't talk to me? Victor Smith has also come out. Yeah, I remember Victor Smith when he was the High Commissioner for the UK. I remember meeting him a couple of times. Yes, yeah, during press conferences and stuff like that. Well, but he's talked about why the Rollinses don't talk to him. What did he do? Mahama Asiedunketia have destroyed NDC. Koku Anyidoho has gone on to say, why is he saying so? Well, these are some of the stories making the rounds there, and I will leave that one to you. Nobody should try me. I won't campaign in Tano South in 2024. Hannah Bisu vows as well. Where I decided to quit General Secretary position, Asiedun Ketia has also made some statements there. And of example, must respond to Asiedun Ketia's allegations. Is that important at all? How many days more for the elections to take place? It's just over the weekend that they are doing their internal elections or executive elections, or yes. So we'll see what happens on that front. But it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now let's move on to other parts of the world and look at some of the other stories making the rounds there. Now, Australian police killers posted video during a shootout. We'll talk about this, and it says a couple behind a suspected ambush in rural Australia in which 2 police officers were killed appear to have posted a video during the attacks where they admitted to the killings. The Queensland police said they were aware of the tip but did not confirm whether it showed Garrett and Stacey's train. Now, the couple, along with Garrett's brother Nathaniel, were killed by police after shooting 2 officers and a neighbor. Now, police are looking into the trial's links to conspiracy theory. Officials said suspects use many weapons but are yet to reveal what kind or any motive for the attack. It is Starr Radio UK. Thank you very much, Mr. Dave West. Thank you very, very much. I'll get back to you. I'll get in touch with you over the weekend. All right then. Now, Ukraine says Russia is planning a major ground offensive in the new year. Is it a ploy to get the West now? Maybe giving them more weapons? Or what exactly is happening? Now, Ukraine has accused Russia of planning a wide-ranging ground offensive. Okay, wide-ranging ground offensive for early in the new year, despite recent Russia military setbacks. President Vladimir Zelensky and senior officials have warned that Kyiv and its allies must guard against complacency. The offensive could come in the eastern Donbas region, in the south, or even towards Kyiv, senior generals have said. Now, Western analysts says Russia's ability to conduct successful offensive ground operation is rapidly diminishing. Britain, most senior military officer Admiral Sir Tony Radakin said that the war would only get worse for Moscow, which he added was now facing a critical shortage of artillery munitions. Is it that they are still working on some, or what exactly is going on there? It is all Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We've got 9 minutes to bring the first part of the program to a close. Well, a sad story also happening this morning and pertaining to 10 people, including 5 children, have been killed in a fire in an apartment building near Lyon, France, the local government has said. Officials released a statement saying a sizable fire broke out in a 7-story block of flats in Vauxhall-Velin. 4 people are in a critical condition and 10 others reported minor injuries, including 2 firefighters. The fire has been extinguished after it was battled by 170 firefighters. Olivia Klein, the Minister Delegate of Cities and Housing for the Bonny region, tweeted on Friday morning, the provisional tally sends chills down your spine. The Minister of the Interior, Gerald Damanin, said the cause of the fire is still unknown and praised the work of the firefighters who rescued people in extremely difficult conditions. He added that the children who died were all aged between 3 and 15. And we say once again, may their souls rest in perfect peace. And in these times as well, please make sure, especially when we are facing the cold, where people are using selling all sorts of gadgets to say that, well, that is more economical and will give you the heat that you need, and you leave it the next moment, and by the time you come back, you see that your house is engulfed in fire. You don't want that, or your room is engulfed in fire. You don't want that at all. Well, Berlin Giant Aqua Dome aquarium containing 1,500 fish has exploded. Does it give you a worry? I remember isn't a couple of months ago. Yeah, we traveled to is it Bournemouth? One of the places, and I was at the aquarium, and I was just in there looking around, and I was just imagining that if that exploded, how would it be like? Well, some has happened somewhere. A giant aquarium containing 1 million liters of water in the lobby of the Radisson Blue in Berlin has burst, now flooding the hotel and nearby streets. The Aquadome, home to 1,500 tropical fish, is a 14-meter high, that is 46 feet, and was described as the largest freestanding cylindrical aquarium in the world. Now, 2 people were injured by glass. Now, police said there had been incredible damage. Video showed an empty tank, water pouring into the lobby, and debris strewing everywhere. Now, guests have been moved out of the hotel following the incident at 0550 hours. That is 0450 GMT. Outside the Radisson Blue, a pile of debris lies in front of what the front doors, which now hang into the street, twisted at an angle by the force of the exploding tank. Wow. Pictures in front of me is quite heart-wrenching. Now, Paul Matizki was staying on the 4th floor with his girlfriend. He described being woken up by a loud bang and shaking. When he looked down into the lobby, he saw water flowing across it. They and the guests were later escorted out of the hotel by armed police. These are all stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's move on now straight to some other stories making the rounds in the UK. Well, a sad story that did happen over the overnight. Yeah. I thought I was going to die. Brixton crash victim. Well, information coming through this show, especially those of us in the UK this morning, that police were called on Thursday night to the show by Afro pop singer Ashake. 4 people were described by the Met as having been critically injured, and the event was abandoned partway through. One witness estimated some 1,000 people turned up to the gig without tickets. One of the crash victims said, "I couldn't breathe and I completely passed out. I thought I was dead." Now, the woman who was taken to hospital with suspected internal bleeding said, "I took my last breath and I could not get any more oxygen. I was so scared." Well, it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Before we get ourselves ready to cross over to Kent, where our money man is, and today we are looking at the autumn budget statement. So stay tuned. Don't touch the dial. In Scotland, amber alert as heavy snow hits central Scotland once again. The wintry weather is affecting major commuter routes, and some schools have been closed as well. And I think today is the last day for schools as well to close for the Christmas festivities. So what is going to happen there? The final story. Now, members of the UK's biggest rail union began their latest walkout at midnight. It will last 48 hours. Just 1 in 5 trains are expected to run on Friday and Saturday, hitting service throughout England, Scotland and Wales. RMT union boss Mick Lynch said that a bit of goodwill, they need a bit of goodwill from all parties, while adding the union has asked for a substantial increase in pay. Engineering works normally take place anywhere over Christmas, so trains will just stop a little bit earlier than usual. That's what some of the experts have said on that front as well. So on that note, let me say thank you very much for joining us on the first part of the program. Enjoy this music whilst we line ourselves up for Mr. Dan Tabiri, CEO of JL Accountancy Services, our money man. Stay tuned.
And so this is Christmas, and what have you done? Another year over, and a new one's just begun. And so this is Christmas. I hope you have fun, the near and the dear one, the old and the young. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one without any fear.
और इसलिए ये क्रिसमस है कमजोर और मजबूर अमीर और गरीब ये जग इतने लंबी है
And so happy Christmas for black and for white, for Maria de haremos de luchar. Así, así. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one without any fear. And so this is Christmas, yeah, yeah. Tell me, what have we done? Why? Another year over, and the new one just begun.
once again, welcome to the program. And let me take some opportunity to say good afternoon to you, Mr. Dan Tabiri.
Good afternoon to you, Archie.
Yeah, how are you today?
I'm very well. I'm good. It's very cold morning.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. Tell me about it. The studio is not warming up. I've done everything. It's not. It's cold. And that is quite a challenging time for those of us in the UK, because you're looking at the fact that energy prices and everything, the cost of living is going high, and the autumn budget statement that has been read as well, and people are asking themselves, how is it going to impact us? And therefore, I think it's a timely discussion that we're going to be having today.
Correct. Yes, indeed. Yes.
Okay. So first of all, let me just once again, listeners, Mr. Dan Tabiri, CEO of GIL Accountancy Services, our money man, who is bringing you the Money Hour. So stay tuned. This applies to those of us in the UK especially. So please, if you are listening to us from any other parts of the world, please be aware of that. Okay. So the budget statement, the autumn budget statement.
Yeah. So just to recap where we are at the moment. If we all remember, we had the mini budget statement from Mr. Kwesi Kwarteng and Liz Truss government, which was very short-lived, and we had a budget within the first 45 days when they came into office. And this mini budget, we know what happened afterwards with the market reacting to the mini budget adversely, and so therefore we had to make a U-turn, and we had a new budget reading from the new Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt.
Yeah.
Basically reversing all the measures that Kwesi Kwarteng put in place, which is currently where we are at the moment. So he gave a statement to indicate that the mini budget measures by the previous administration was going to be reversed, and they asked for an extended time because the mini budget was the actual autumn statement was expected end of October.
Yeah.
They asked for an extended time, another couple of weeks, and this was read. The autumn statement came to us on the 17th of November 2022. The autumn statement always gives us an indication or the details of what the Chancellor is thinking in terms of their program for the following year, in this case 2023, 2024 onwards. And that is what is presented to Parliament for approval, and then it goes on to the King, as we have now, to receive the royal assent and to get it signed into tax law. So the autumn statement touch on a few things, and we want to go into some of the highlights of this autumn statement.
Okay.
So as we started with energy, let me start with energy, what the Chancellor said about energy. If you remember, we were expecting, as per Kwesi Kwarteng's budget, to have an energy cap on our home energy bills of up to £2,500 for the year 2022-23 and going forward. There wasn't a definite date for that to come to an end. But the new budget, the autumn statement, only extended the cap for 1 year. So the 2,500 cap would come to an end at 31st of March 2023, and we expect that the cap would rise to £3,000 instead of 2,500. So where the government takes care of your bills after 2,500, that limit is now going up to £3,000, and that is going up to a year and will be reviewed after that date. And then also households on means-tested benefits will get £900 in support payments next year. So next year in 2022, April 2023 onwards. So £900 in support payment. Then there will also be, in addition, £300 payments to pensioner households and £150 for individuals on disability benefits. So these are in addition to other support payments which are currently available to people on low incomes or people who are above a certain age in the pension bracket or have disability allowances going to them. These are further support to support them in this in terms of the cost of living crisis that we find ourselves in.
Okay.
The government didn't end there on the support, energy support. So they went ahead to impose a windfall tax on profits of oil and gas firms from 25% to 35%. And this has been extended until March 2028. And also, there's a new 45% tax on companies that generate electricity to apply from January 2023. So these are some of the measures that were contained in the budget statement, autumn statement read in November by Jeremy Hunt.
Okay. Interesting. Listeners, Mr. Dan Tabiri bringing us highlights of the autumn budget statement and how it's going to impact you. Well, he's talking about how in the energy sector and the support the government is giving, how it's all going to be impacting you. Have any questions, feel free, just post it on our Facebook page or any of the social media platforms that you're listening to us from, and I promise you that we're going to see to address that for you. I'll put it across to him. Well, so let's go back to him for the rest of the highlights. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, so let's look at some highlights of the budget which affect us individually, personally, before we look at the corporate tax impact. So on income tax, all personal allowances and the higher rate tax rule for income tax will be fixed at the current rate until April 2028, which means that your personal allowance of £12,500, which usually goes up each year, would stay at that level for the current levels until April 2028. Taxpayers will start paying higher rate tax at £50,270. So this is the threshold at which you start to pay 40% tax.
Okay.
This is fixed at £50,270 per year. And then also the additional rate of tax. This is where individuals are subject to pay income tax at 45%, will be decreased from £150,000 to £125,140 with effect from the 6th of April 2023. And this applies to only England, Wales, and Northern Ireland only. Okay. It doesn't apply to Scotland.
Okay.
This will pull more top earners into the 45p tax bracket. If you remember, this was one of the most controversial policies or tax cuts in the Kwesi Kwarteng budget.
Yeah.
Where he completely abolished the 45p tax rate. The new chancellor has not only put it back, but has also reduced the threshold at which the 45% tax kicks in, which is £125,140. The basic tax rate would remain at 20%. A reversal of the announcement made in the fiscal statement announced in September. So the basic tax rate was in Kwesi Kwarteng's budget was expected to be reduced to 19%.
Yeah.
A reduction of 1%, but this reduction is not going ahead and is staying at 20%.
Okay.
Then also we had the health and social care levy. So there is a reversal of the health and social care levy announced in the mini budget statement, which was meant to originally the levy was introduce a temporary 1.25% increase to both the main and additional rates of national insurance for the year 2022-2023, and this was reversed in the mini budget statement. However, the levy is staying for the next year. The levy has not been abolished. It's not been reversed back. It's staying up to the year 2022-2023. This was meant to be cancelled from the 6th of November 2022. Then national insurance. So the primary threshold and the lower profit limit that were increased to align with the personal allowance will remain fixed from April 2023 through to 2028. So previously we had a lower limit where before you started paying any national insurance, I think it was about £8,000, but this has now been lifted to £12,500 in line with the tax threshold before you start paying in national insurance.
Okay, so 12,500 before you start paying.
Correct, yes. Okay. So if you're an employee, you will not you would not be paying any national insurance at all.
Okay.
Until your income or your earnings hit £12,500.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now let's look at other measures that affect us as well. So the dividend allowance. So currently, if you have any dividend income, you enjoy a £2,000 dividend allowance. So the first £2,000 of your dividend income is not taxed. Now, this will now reduce from April 2023, will reduce to £1,000, and then from April 2024, this will now reduce further again to only £500. Wow. Dividend rate from the 6th of April 2023 will be increased by 1.25% to 8.75%.
Wow, that's taking the whole money.
Yeah. So the lower tax rate of the dividend, which was 7.5% in the basic tax threshold, it's now going to increase by 1.25%, in line with the increase with the social health and social care levy increase as well.
Yeah.
So where people who pay national insurance are going to pay that social care levy, the increase is also to tax people who may not be paying national insurance but earn dividend income. So that this is to create fairness in the tax system. But the higher rate dividend tax, which previously was 32.5%, is also going up by the same margin to 33.75%. Initially, the mini budget of Kwesi was reversing this increase, but this has now been cancelled and the increase is going ahead. Then, as previously announced, this may interest couples or people who have been in a unfortunate situation of a separation or divorce. So the no gain, no loss window on separation and divorce will be extended to 3 years after the year they cease to live together, in which you make no gain or no loss transfers. This will also apply to assets that separating assets and partners transfer between themselves as part of a formal divorce agreement.
Okay.
So So this is where, if there's a separation or divorce, and people, you have to, it gets to a situation where the house either needs to be sold, or one partner needs to transfer or sell the other half, his or their portion of the house to the other partner. If there's capital gain on the property, the chancellor is saying that up to 3 years, there will be no gain or loss on the property for the final 3 up to the point of separation. There will be no gain or loss taxable on the property.
Okay, just a quick one on that one. So that mean that if somebody is, a couple, okay, they are separating, and therefore on that part, that means that if they sell their property, assuming they sold the property because and make up to 50,000 of it.
Yeah.
Now that mean that they're not going to pay any tax on it.
Correct. So first of all, if the house was their only or their private residence, then they will be covered by the private residence relief.
Okay.
So there will be no CGT on it. This applies if there's a second home which the couples owned. Then this is where CGT will come into effect, and therefore the last 3 years will be deemed as a no gain, no loss period, and therefore no CGT will be taxable on it.
Okay. Thanks for that clarity.
So in the home in which they are living, they will probably be covered by the private residence relief. But if they have a second home, then the CGT relief would come into play, and they will not have to pay any tax on the gain. Then also, we have a reduction of the capital gains tax annual exemption. Currently, this exemption is £12,300. So if you sell a property and you make a gain of £12,300, there will be no CGT on it.
Okay.
Now, this limit is now being reduced to £6,000 from April 2023, and it will be further reduced to £3,000 with effect from April 2024. So if people have properties that they are looking to sell, they need to look at this critically. If you sell it before April 2023, you would have your CGT annual allowance exemption allowance of $12,300. If you sell it after April 2023, but before 2024, then you would have a reduced allowance of £6,000. Any sales after April 2024, you would only receive the CGT exemption of £3,000.
But that mean that they're going to change it in the future, or is that how it's going to stand?
Well, given the politics that we have at the moment, we just have to say that this is up to April 2025.
Okay.
This is what we should expect.
Okay.
But as you well know, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow with UK politics.
Of course.
Yeah. So we have to take it as on face value as we have it now. This is what we have.
Okay.
And therefore, this is what you can plan accordingly. Touch wood, there are no further turbulence in terms of the politics that we have at the moment.
Yeah.
And therefore, this chancellor remains and there will be no changes. Yeah, so also some duty land tax. Critical Action's mini budget, some duty land charges will be reversed on 31st of March 2025. So if you remember, there was an increase in the nil rate from 125,000 to 250,000, and an increase in the first time buyer's relief nil rate threshold from 300,000 to 425,000. with a maximum property price from 500 to 625,000. This is all being reversed back to the 125,000 thresholds that we had before from the 31st of March 2025 onwards. So that the stamp duties would remain up until this point. So 2023, 24 and 2024-25 tax years will still have the high stamp duty nil exemption rate up to 250k. There will be no stamp duty up to that point.
Okay. First time buyers.
First time buyers.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, just to touch on a few corporate taxes. VAT registration threshold, so the threshold at which you would have to compulsorily register for VAT is being maintained at 85,000 a year up to the 31st of March 2026. And then another significant change in the corporate tax world has to do with the corporation tax rate. If you remember, Mr. Kwesi Kwarteng cut the corporation tax rate from 20% to 19%.
Yeah.
Originally, Mr. Sunak's budget had indicated, the previous budget had indicated that corporation taxes were going to rise up to 25%. And this was reversed in the mini budget statement read by Kwesi Kwarteng, and it was reduced to 19. And this measure has been cancelled or abolished, and the corporation tax rates are now going up to 25% for all profits over and above 50,000 in a year. So this is a significant change or a significant turnaround in terms of the corporation tax regime that we have in the UK. So that's basically a highlight of the main budget points that affect us directly, or should I say, listening on this platform.
Yeah. Wow, listeners. Now this is just he's just reiterating what the Chancellor said. But well, when you listen to it again, it makes you think, ooh, what kind of world are we in? But hey, somewhere, somehow, there is always a safety net for those who are, what do you call it, below the belt, or those who are underneath there. There's a safety net for you there. And he's going to tell you much about what support the government has put across for you. I think he said part of it earlier on, but we're going to go back to it, because I know that when we listen to such discussions, at times it makes people just think, oh, that's the end of the world for us, but it's not. It is Starr Radio UK. It's the Money Hour with our money man, Mr. Dan Tabiri, bringing you the highlights of the autumn budget statement. Now, Mr. Tabiri, now, like I was saying, a safety net. I know that government will always make sure that the vulnerable in society are catered for. I know most people have been listening to us and they'll be panicking, thinking that whoa. So what does it all mean for them directly? Those who have been having savings, how does that apply to them?
Yeah. So certainly there are several support mechanisms available. So we know that from next year, benefits, people, unemployment benefits, tax credits, and pension allowances, state pension would increase by the inflation rate. Currently, we're looking at about 10% increase. So all these benefits would also increase by the same margin of 10% next year. Also, households on means tested benefits will get £900 support payments next year. In addition, we have £300 payments going to pensioner households and £150 for individuals on disability benefit. So if you fall in this bracket, then you should expect some support in this respect. Okay. What we haven't heard so far is any support to households in respect of their council taxes. As you remember, in the current year that we are in, we all received £150 council tax rebate for people who are in council tax bands A or D. We don't have that in the next tax year, or there has been no announcement in respect of that. And the government has left it to councils to decide whether to increase their council taxes or to keep them where they are. So it depends on where you live. Keep your ears on the ground and see what the councils are doing. The councils may increase council tax, or within the councils, local councils themselves, they may have support schemes that are available for people who are residents in those councils. So look out for the information that is available. Look on your council's website, see what support mechanisms are there that you can utilize further. Like I always say, information is power, and you need to get that information, access the information, so that you can access the support that you need to help you get through these difficult times.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tabiri. Listeners, that has been Mr. Dan Tabiri, CEO of JL Accountancy Services, our money man. And today we had a look at the highlights of the autumn budget statement. Well, some are saying that, well, it's caused them stress and everything. But as he said, information is power. So if you need more information, he's going to put his contact details across. And please listen to it. And then you can contact him for some clarity if need be. Over to you, Mr. Tabiri.
Yeah, so if you need any guidance or support, you can reach out to me on 07961248834, or you can reach me via email on dan@gilaccountants.com. dan@gilaccountants.com.
Mr. Tabiri, let me say thank you very much for another wonderful presentation.
You are most welcome, and it's a pleasure coming your way again this afternoon.
The pleasure is all mine.
Make that move now, this festive season, to your new home address at GHS Housing Estate. From now to 31st January 2023, we are offering you an amazing 5% buyer's discount on all purchases on our expandable 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom detached homes at Cochrane Villa, Pokwase, just 5 minutes drive from the interchange. The Mayflower and the new Hazel Courts at Kuntusi, 20 minutes drive from Achimotamo. Beautiful homes in a serene and gated community with flexible payment plans available. Call us now on 0544-347-980 or 0544-347-981. GHS Housing Estates. View it, love it, own it.
Okay, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, and this is where we're bringing the program to a close for today. As I said, due to the travel issues going on, we'll not be having the FIA show this evening. Yes, the FIA Sewakoto will not be able to bring you that program. However, well, there's going to be lots of music as well lined up for you. So make sure your dials are still logged on Starr Radio UK when we bring you all that. But remember, the weekend is going to be one of a lovely one with all the other programs coming your way. There's going to be a church broadcast on Sunday, and then the Faith Talk with KB Bossman also in the evening. So make sure your dials are logged on Starr Radio UK. On that note, let me say thank you very much for tuning in to listen to us today. It's been a pleasure coming your way. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only Archie. This is music that I've just chanced on, and I've not actually sampled it, but let's enjoy it together. Let's do the sampling together. I hope it's good. This one is from Ghana. It says Kwampa, 5 Days of Christmas. I don't know how that one is, but enjoy it, and I'll see you all during the weekend. Bye-bye for now. African drops.
a partridge in a pear tree. And you could be day one. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.
And a partridge in a pear tree. See what? On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. Fanta and Katia, Paya and Mamo, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. Cotton and wine, Fanta and Katia, Paya and Mamo, and a partridge in a pear tree. Day 5. On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a cry. Oh, Tabiri, chingo nyaliwa, katieni kokaya kutu, and a partridge in